Good morning. I don't know
Ish.
why. I don't know why that was freezing up.
Well,
Hey, we're back. We're back.
it,
Baseball's back. Hey,
it-
hey.
we,
uh,
we we didn't go on strike. We didn't have a league mandated lockout. We didn't have anything. We just had events.
yeah, I had some things come up on my end. So, well, good morning-ish to everybody who is watching. Welcome to another episode of Just a Bit Outside. This is a pretty exciting one this week. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah,
And if you follow us on Twitter, you know why.
yeah. Mr. Quigley over there
I'm
tweeting
ready.
away.
I'm ready.
John looks like he's ready. He's got his caffeine flowing through him.
Let's do it.
10 cups of sugar with no bird dog in it.
Yeah, we're gonna start with a topic that is gonna bite or chip some of our butts over here because of being Phillies fans. Our first no-no of 2022 happened the other night against our wonderful fighting Phils against a stupid team called the New York Mets.
Ugh.
And what a crappy game that was, being a Phillies fan. And John can vouch for me that seeing a no hitter is cool in person, except for when it happens against you.
Yeah. It's still an experience though. You say you got to see one. So we saw Josh Beckett. What was that? Probably 2015? 2014. We saw
May 25th, 2014.
Yeah, we
A
got to
day
see
that
that.
will never leave your memory.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
I mean that pitching matchup was AJ Burnett and Josh Beckett, which was not a pitching matchup you thought would be elite. And that was when Beckett was playing for the Dodgers. And that was
probably his last within the last 2-3 years of his career.
Yeah,
he didn't pitch much longer after that.
No, he didn't. And thank you to Josh Beckett for ruining that game for us, because the Dodgers actually had a pretty good lineup that day too. I mean, they scored 6 runs, but they had like Carl Crawford, Puig, Adrian Gonzalez on that team, Andre Ethier, Justin Turner. And the Phillies weren't too bad either. I mean, that was our Dom Brown era, though, in left field.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's
the highs and lows.
Yeah.
A lot more lows than highs. But hey.
So we'll get into this new no-hitter. The Phillies got their, 21st time they've been no-hit in Major League Baseball history, with a lineup that was supposed to be sure firepower, and that's nowhere to be found.
That's the downside of the boom or bust offense. Sometimes they'll boom, and sometimes they draw 6 walks and get no hit.
Yeah. Speaking of highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
Literally.
A lot of those this year, that's for sure.
Yeah. And somehow the Phillies are still sitting around 500. The Mets, I didn't even know they had 15 wins.
Yeah, Mets are playing really good. You can tell how the Mets are doing by Frank the Tank's demeanor on Barstool. He's been a happy guy lately, so
I don't know if you guys have seen the standings lately, but there's a team ahead of Philly that shouldn't be ahead of Philly.
Yeah, I've seen that, and
we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll last very long.
We're not going to talk about that, Miami.
No, but I mean,
it's still early. But the Marlins have the Phillies number, man. The Phillies just cannot beat the Marlins. I don't know what it is. They just can't.
Weird. You think that anybody could just go in and stomp the Marlins?
But the good news is, with being no hit against the Mets, and we turned around last night and came back, and offense showed up and beat them.
Yeah.
So got a chance to take the series today against them if they can put it all together again.
And coming off that Rocky series, to lay an egg like they did is really deflating.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I was watching the draft that night. Otherwise, my TV would probably be broken.
So listen, I had a lot of things going on TV that night. There's some racing going on. We had the draft, and I caught the last 3 outs of that game, and they looked stupid. I'm just telling you right now, they looked completely stupid in the last 3 outs of that game.
So, yeah, I saw. Yeah, all whiffing on the sliders away.
Yeah.
So we said there were 6 walks in this no-hitter?
Yeah, 6 walks.
And how many combined pitchers?
5.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. All right, my one point about this is this whole combined no-hitters is just like it's not the same as a true. I mean, it's a no-hitter, but it's not a true no-hitter if you ask me, right?
Yeah.
And to trot 5 guys out there to do it, I don't know. Just so, I don't give it the same credence I do.
And they threw 159 pitches too, which is unreal because like the one that we saw John back in 2014, Beckett only threw 128. So
yeah, and one guy pitched the whole game. That's a real no hitter. Josh Beckett threw a no hitter. What are you going to say to these guys? The guy came in and pitched an inning and a half. I mean, what did he throw a no hitter? No, he pitched an inning and a half of inning and a third or whatever it is of no hit ball. I mean, that's not. I don't know. It's not the same if you ask me.
I mean, we do have a combined no hitter against the Cubs though with
Cole Hamels last start.
Yeah. So
I mean, listen, it's a no hitter. It still counts, but it's just I don't know. I don't view it the same way.
I mean, in the record books, it's still a no hitter no matter what.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're going to look back and see Philly's list of no hits, and that date's going to be there for the rest of baseball history.
Like a lot of other dates in Philly's history, unfortunately.
Like it's the 10,000th loss in franchise history, and it's why do we torture ourselves, guys? Why do we torture ourselves?
I mean, 2008 will forever live on those. So.
Oh yeah, and then if we're going to go off of the 08-80 strategy, we're not going to win another World Series for another
68 years.
Yeah, no,
66 years. It's been 14 years, so 66 years. My math skills are on point. If you can't tell.
Yeah, we can tell. So Tim, you were telling us a little bit. I'm sure people that are watching somewhat know about it, but tell us a little bit about the LSD game.
Yeah, once we were talking a little bit here, and once we realized there were 6 walks in the games, I was trying to find a box score. I couldn't quite find it. Trace, while I'm rambling here, you might be able to find it. But the classic Doc Ellis LSD no-hitter where
wasn't that the perfect game? What?
No, it was a no-hitter, dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's no way he threw a perfect – he might have had a perfect game. I don't remember. But the no-hitter, he dropped acid like 2 days before the game, lost track of his days, and had to fly from L.A. to San Diego and barely got to the ballpark in time to pitch. So –
yeah, he went
June 12th, 1970, Doc Ellis no-hit the Padres 2-0 in the first game of a doubleheader, reportedly under the influence of LSD. And there is a little – documentary on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's pretty hysterical.
Allegedly.
No, he did.
Yeah.
After the Pirates had flown to San Diego Thursday, June 11, Ellis visited a friend in LA and used LSD 2 or 3 times, thinking it was still
together, I guess, right?
Thinking it was still Thursday. He took a hit of LSD on Friday at noon. His friend's girlfriend reminded him at 2 p.m. that he was scheduled to pitch that night. Ellis flew from LA to San Diego at 3 p.m. and arrived at the stadium at 4:30. The game started at 6:05.
So he went 9 innings, no hits, no runs, no earned runs. He gave up 8 walks and 6 strikeouts in that game.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Yep, 8 batters, struck out 6. Aided by excellent fielding plays by second baseman Bill Mazeroski and center fielder Matty Alou. Even he claims he can only remember bits and pieces of the game, which doesn't really
checks out.
Comes a shocker. And let's see here. There's a good quote here. I remember hitting a couple batters, and the bases were loaded 2 or 3 times. The ball was small sometimes. The ball was large sometimes. Sometimes I saw the catcher. Sometimes I didn't. And if those aren't words to live by right there as a pitcher in the major league, I don't know what are.
I'll tell you what, that's a peak athletic performance right there. And I don't want to switch sports on you boys. But
I was going to say, bring this one up.
Yeah, all right. This is a gem right here. One of our heroes and great American, John Daly, a Miller Lite fan for life since he was about 12 years old. But he actually beat Tiger Woods in a round of golf after 3 entire bottles of Crown Royal to himself.
Sounds about right.
Absolute legend.
All right, we're gonna go to the next topic because this one's this is kind of touchy in some cases. Talk a little bit here about Trevor Bauer and his already 2-year suspension on top of the 99 games he's already missed. My opinion of it is I don't think he should be suspended right now. He's never been criminally charged with anything, and how can you really say somebody's guilty of something if they've never been criminally charged? So this goes down as the longest suspension in baseball history for domestic violence since their domestic violence policy came into place in 2015. I think the longest was a year. We saw it firsthand with Odubel being suspended.
But he was charged, right? He did like a pre-trial diversion, so there was actual.
Jubal was found guilty. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, boys, I want your opinions. We'll start here with John, because Tim, I know you're going to have a long opinion on this one. John, what? Yeah, well, on the next one too. So John, we'll go with you here on this one. What's your thoughts here on Bauer being suspended for 2 years essentially?
Yeah, I mean, it's a touchy subject, obviously. The facts have kind of come out, kind of haven't come out. I mean, Bauer's denying all of it. He's emphatic about it. He apparently has a lot of text messages that he thinks, show his innocence and show the woman in question was continuing to text him provocative and unsolicited things after the fact. So it would seem that he has at least a little bit of a leg to stand on. I agree. I mean, it feels like the MLB didn't do a true investigation, really. They just kind of saw some headlines and got some facts here and there, and they acted very swiftly to just suspend him indefinitely. Now they're coming down with 2 years. You would think it was with some more facts and evidence. But again, like you said, there has been a lot of law enforcement involvement. There has been a criminal investigation, and he has not been charged with anything. So there's probably a reason for that, right? So the MLB has to, I think, have a more strict guidance with these kind of things, and it can't be so arbitrary. Every case is different, yes, but I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, there's going to be rumors and innuendo about a lot of people, things that can be proven, things that can't be proven. And if they can't be provable to even bring charges, which isn't the highest standard in the legal system, you got to think that, Bauer has a shot. So he's going to appeal. He's going to fight it. We'll see. I don't feel like the MLB is very inclined to give him a fair shake at this point, because if they do, accept his appeal and lessen or get rid of the punishment, they'll have egg on their face. So I think he's kind of screwed regardless. And if he's guilty of it, I mean, then he sucks and he deserves to be suspended.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, I mean, yeah. So it's a matter of like, not a matter of what they're saying he did is not defensible. And if he did it, then there's no choice but to suspend him for this. But he's vehemently denying it. And I think he deserves a more of a fair shake, I'd say.
I'm pretty sure that this suspension came down because they had that third accuser come out and be like, oh yeah, he did this to me and he did that to me. But if people would go and read a little bit on the first case, like he sued the woman for defamation because they were able to prove like this was consensual. It just got a little too rough. But now with the third accuser coming out, this kind of goes on, and this is not, and I'll go to you here in a minute, Tim. This goes to the topic of like Deshaun Watson in the NFL with his, accusations against him. He was basically self-suspended from that, and they haven't really done anything with him because we don't know, or NFL hasn't done anything with him because they don't know what's going to happen with all these lawsuits against him for the accusations he has against him. So Tim, to that point, I know it's two different sports, but like, why? I want your opinion on this too, on Trevor Bauer's 2-year suspension. But like, why is baseball being more strict, and why is the NFL basically sitting back? Like, why can't they just take a page out of each other's books?
Well, I mean, with things like this, it's so touchy. I don't really like getting into them. This is an argument that it seems nobody will ever agree on. I mean, when it all boils down to it, I guess at the end of the day, with your partner, always be very clear with what you want to do and, clearly draw a line, and obviously obey that line. But in this situation, MLB, well, he was not suspended, but they
leave of absence.
Leave of absence. Yeah. Well, that was for about half a year, roughly.
So he missed 99 games last year.
Okay.
That's when it went in effect. So not quite halfway.
So almost 3/4 of a year, or a little bit under half. Sorry, I was out late last night. I'm still a little fuzzy.
Oh, were you? I had no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
No idea.
No clue.
That
happened.
I know. I rarely go out anymore, and when I go out, apparently it's a party.
Yeah, we're old men. I feel you.
Old men, and yeah, almost 31 as an old man.
Yeah,
fantastic times.
Well, and you got to ask yourself too, even if he is cleared or exonerated, is any team going to touch him with a 10-foot pole? I don't think they will.
I think there's always a need for pitching. There's always going to be a need for solid pitching. And Trace, you were touching on why is the NFL going one way, why is MLB going the other? I think ever since the NFL screwed up royally with their domestic violence stuff with Ray Rice and who was the one like a couple of years ago with the Bengals running back?
Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon. I mean, there's just a few of them where you get a slap on the wrist, but if you wear cancer awareness cleats when it's not Cancer Awareness Month, you're fined like $75,000 and suspended for 4 games, which is a harsher punishment than punching a woman in the face in the bar. So the NFL has historically shown not a lack, but they've been, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been very lenient in a way when it comes to throwing down harsh punishments, where baseball is like, listen, we're not going to make that mistake. In Manfred's mind, he's probably thinking we're just going to lay the hammer down. And this is the first time, really. I mean, there was the Odubel case last year, which he was gone for a year. But this one, the hammer really came down with the 2-year suspension.
And it's also a matter of, even from sport to sport, it's going to be like situational to the player. Like, people forget the stuff that Tyreek Hill did. He did awful, terrible, terrible things, right? If you guys even know about it. But he got a slap on the wrist and it never comes up anymore. You know, Odubel is not a good enough player that, like,
it shouldn't determine how good you are. It's the fact
that it shouldn't at all. I agree, but it does to a certain extent. I mean, it doesn't. It should not whatsoever.
Would you argue the fact that Odubel was in a market like Philadelphia, whereas Bauer's in Los Angeles and in California? Would you argue that at all?
To a certain extent, but I definitely still think that. Well, look at it this way: Odubel got a year for charges. Right? Like provable, guilty pleas, guilty convictions, charges. Bauer has not been charged with anything, and he's getting 2.5 years. So it's like, it's just so arbitrary is my point, right? There needs to be like a cut and dry, like, this is the policy. If you get convicted of this, if you're charged with this, whatever it might be, this is the defined punishment, right? Like 1 season, 2 seasons, lifetime, whatever it is, like, they should come down hard. They should not go easy on anybody, but it needs to be the same across the board, if you ask me.
So here's my thing though too, is like, Bauer has already had that bad boy reputation with how he was acting when he was in Cincinnati. If you remember the one time he took a ball and chucked it into the outfield.
Oh, it started way before that when he was in Arizona.
But still, so he already has that reputation. So that kind of came back into play on him in this suspension.
Yeah,
I think if he gets it reduced, I think we'll see him pitch again, but I don't know how effective he will be.
I mean, he'll be fine. I mean, he's still able to go work out on the side and at least
it's not even that though, Tim.
He'll be 33.
Well, no, the backlash he's gonna get when he comes, if this gets reduced, or even if it fulfills and he comes through, people are gonna want him gone. Like the Dodgers might have to save face, say cut ties with him.
Yeah, I mean, the next
team that would sign him, though, they're facing that backlash from the like the activists and the protesters are like, why are you signing this guy? Like, this is bad for you, blah 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 blah, and that can really mess with him mentally. So don't know how well he's going to be when he comes out of this, because obviously right now, innocent until proven guilty. He hasn't been proven guilty of anything. These are all accusations. Obviously something happened.
Yeah, we're not detectives or anything like that to try to figure it out. So we're just stating an opinion.
So whatever happened. But I mean, this is going to be such a touchy subject between now and the next many years.
I think the MLBPA will, he's going to get suspended. I mean, there's no doubt there's going to be a suspension. 2 years is probably a little extreme. I think MLBPA will probably try to narrow it down to 1. And then will any team want to sign him? Because the Dodgers are going to cut ties. What's so funny here, Trace? This is a serious topic.
No. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp memes coming across.
Well,
sorry.
Well, much like Amber Heard, Trevor Bauer pretty much shit the bed.
I still really think that, like, even if unless he somehow is like proven innocent, which at this point is tough to fathom because everything's out there in the public, and no matter what, he looks bad. Like, it's not a good look for him, even if it was all consensual. Like, the way it went down is just not a good look and not a good way to handle yourself, period. But I think he'd have a hard time landing anywhere after this. That's my personal
it'll
opinion.
Be a hard time, but there's going to be a suitor. You're telling me somebody like, take a Detroit, for example, or Baltimore wouldn't do it, Philly wouldn't do it, New York wouldn't do it, but just like
Pittsburgh doesn't care, so.
Nah, Pittsburgh wouldn't do it.
They won't spend the money for it.
They won't spend the money.
Yeah.
They won't even bring up their star guy in AAA who's clearly ticked off that he's still there. They're not going to go sign Trevor Bauer after the suspension's over. Maybe somebody like the Rangers or the Astros, maybe. The Astros have had something similar with Roberto Ozuna when he was traded from Toronto. Same kind of, I have to look back in the specifics of it, but I'm pretty sure there would be some pretty comparable things between Ozuna and Bauer when it comes to a domestic violence charge.
Except I don't think Ozuna got the 2 years.
No, he got, I think the Blue Jays basically kind of gave him that suspension. I don't think MLB did anything for that. I'm probably wrong. I don't remember.
At the end of the day, proven or not, legally, whatever it is, Trevor Bauer has proven himself beyond a reasonable doubt that he is a low character guy. Yeah. So I think you're right. There might be a team out there that'll take him on, but they're going to get a lot of backlash, and deservedly so.
Okay.
If the Phillies signed him, I would be very unhappy. And it's not the kind of guy you want in the clubhouse, period.
So USA Today, Roberto Ozuna arrested on suspicion of assaulting a woman while he was the member of the Blue Jays. He was placed on administrative leave hours after the May 8th arrest. MLB ultimately suspended Ozuna for 75 games without pay for violating the league's domestic violence policy. Let's see here. And of course, you click on that. The up next story is Trevor Bauer suspended 2 years. But yeah, so you might be able to draw some comparisons between how MLB is going to handle Bauer versus how they handled Ozuna here. So
it's just a crapshoot, man. They have no defined policy. They don't follow precedent. They just do what they want to. And it just has to be more black and white, cut and dry, if you ask me.
All right. Well, we'll go into the next touchy subject that I know Tim is looking forward to having.
This isn't touchy. This is freaking fact. This is freaking the worst umpire in all of Major League Baseball. This is the worst umpire in baseball, period, from little leagues to recreational ball to collegiate short summer leagues to minor league, low, AA, AAA, independent ball, Korean ball, Japanese ball. Don't care. Angel Hernandez, the absolute worst umpire ever Major League Baseball has ever seen in its entire history. If you don't believe me, go look at umpire scorecards on Twitter. I blasted it out. Look at all the wrong calls he made. The only game Angel Hernandez has had good. Wow, I can't talk. Only game that he umped decently was a game on 420, and maybe had a little bit of help with that. I don't know. I can't say for fact. But Angel Hernandez, you suck. Everybody knows you suck. Current players say you suck. Former players say you suck. You suck. You suck, Angel Hernandez. You're the worst umpire. You should never umpire a game behind the plate again, and you're never going to ump a World Series because you're going to ruin that too.
No, he's not going to ump a World Series because, according to him, they're racist.
No. He lost that lawsuit. You know you're a crappy umpire when you sue your employer for discrimination, and the judge in the case comes out and says, "Well,
no, dude, you just suck."
Yeah, basically. But by everything I have been presented here, you show a clear lack of understanding when it comes to a pressure situation, and you suck. Everybody knows Angel Hernandez sucked. The U.S., whatever district court that was handled in public record, basically has in bold headline, Angel Hernandez, you suck. God damn it.
Kyle Schwarber speaks for everybody. Kyle Schwarber had enough, and it was actually probably the perfect way to handle it if you're going to have an outburst like that. Like, he didn't get too close to Angel. He didn't like get physical. He made perfect points. I mean, he really, I mean, not to cut you off, Tim, but I really do think like it was a muted response and less than what it really deserved to have. It was more muted than it was more muted than it could have been or really should have been, honestly, at that point in the game. I mean, Angel Hernandez is like, it's about him. It's an ego trip. He wants to be the story of the game, and he was the story of the game. He doesn't care if it's because he's great or terrible. He wants to be the story of the game, and he made himself the story once again. And it's just, it's bad for the game.
You know, it's bad on Sunday Night Baseball. The announcers are sitting there going, Angel's zone has been a little questionable. Even the announcers in the game are like, this dude is ass.
Well, even when Schwarber like freaked out, the announcers were basically like, "Yeah, Kyle Schwarber speaks for everybody." He finally reached a boiling point where it was just out of control. I mean, just absolutely out of control.
It was the second time that game you've been rung up on a zone, on a strike three outside of the zone. It happened to Harper. It happened for the Mets too. Look at Josh Hader's face when Angel rigs him up for strike three. He turns around and he's got a face of, "Here we go, like so shit."
Yeah,
and then you cut to McCutchen in the outfield there on the single shot, and McCutchen's just laughing, going, "It's about time." And then after the game, ESPN asked him too, how about Angel's zone? And he's just like, "I can't really say what I want to say because I'm on a live mic here." And McCutchen's not going to be one of those guys that would throw somebody under the bus anyway. He's a good character dude. But if you want to know exactly what Schwarber said, go watch the John Boy video where he breaks down and he lip reads everything. It's a bunch of F-bombs, and Schwarber's, "You did it for them, you did it for us, high, outside, low, whatever. It's all horseshit."
I mean, it was. And I think it says it all. There's a clip. We might be able to tweet it out after the show. A Philly fan stayed after the game and watched
Angel Hernandez.
When Angel, he left. He was yelling at him in his car, and Angel just looked back at him, gave him like the most like just nauseating smirk, grin, laugh. Like, he doesn't care, man. He's just awful. Like, I don't know. I don't think we have enough words to like.
Only reason he still has a job is because of the union. That's it. It
speaks for itself. And anything we say is going to be underwhelming. It doesn't truly do justice to how terrible it was. It's just, I mean, inexcusable in any way, shape, or form. But it is what it is. He made the argument pretty well for the virtual strike zone. I'll say that right now. I think Harper even said that after the game, or Girardi, one of the two, came out after the game and said something about that.
I don't know if I'd go as far as virtual strike zone, but I would. I don't want a virtual strike zone, but I will sign any petition that it takes to have Angel Hernandez just not umpire behind home plate.
Yeah,
I'll take his stupid calls in the field because you can at least challenge those.
Right.
You can't challenge a ball and strike.
I mean, you had what's his face back in the day, several years ago, Jim Joyce. No, Jim Joyce, who made that bad call.
That's the only reason you know Jim Joyce's name.
Well, right,
because of the one call in his entire career.
Right, and it happens. Right.
But he came out and admitted, "I screwed up. That was my bad. I cost that kid a perfect game. Like, that was my fault."
And he felt terrible about it too. Right. You could tell he cared. Angel Hernandez doesn't care. He would laugh in the guy's face.
He has zero. No. Well, I'm the words I want to use. I'm not going to use right now because we're trying to be a family-friendly show.
Yeah, I brought it a little hardcore there.
Speaking of low character guys, speaking of low character guys, that says it all. That's the nicest way you could put it. Is he is a low character guy?
If I could describe Angel Hernandez as something, this is not to go back into this other topic, but like, he's the bed that Amber Heard lays in. Okay.
Here we go.
No, he's what Amber Heard puts in the bed.
Take it however you want.
Had to get that plug in there, Trace. You're on this Heard thing, man. It's interesting.
Listen,
it's interesting.
Let me see if I can find the unfortunate series that has Angel Hernandez.
So here, I'm going to show you guys. So this was not to be distasteful, but when Tim was asking what I was laughing about, Steph sent this to me, right?
What? Oh,
Amber, honey, I'm home.
So, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Speaking of low character people, we're just going on all of them. Amber Heard is a low character person in the nicest possible way I could ever put it.
Pulp. Did I almost say pulp culture? Pulp culture, sports. Any other characters you guys want to shoot out here while we're
actually, yes, absolutely. I'm going to shout out to Pascal Siakam, the biggest goon in basketball, for shattering Joel Embiid's face, and also for every fan in Toronto who was out there yelling "F Joel Embiid," and also the announcer who, after the injury happened, said, "Oh, he gets what he deserves." Classless. Absolute trash.
That actually reminds me of something. We all remember a couple of weeks ago where the Philly fan threw the Met fan's phone onto the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how much that blew up.
Yeah.
Look how quickly everybody forgot that the Yankees fans threw literal trash and cans of beer at the Indians players.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Guardians.
The Yankees fans are the worst fans in baseball.
That happened
by far.
If I understand, every Philadelphia fans, there are fans that are absolute horrible, disgusting human beings, like the guy who puked on the off-duty police officer's daughter. That he's a horrible person, scum of the earth, absolutely disgusting human being. Every fan base has them. Philadelphia has its fair share. But when an entire section in a Yankees game rains down garbage onto a team after a walk-off, they ruined a walk-off victory by throwing trash onto their own field. They threw their own trash from their own stadium onto their own field. It makes no sense. It was covered for like 1-2 days max, and we haven't heard about it since.
Ask yourself if the Philly fans
had Philly done it, be the story for the month.
Yeah, well, I'm going basketball here. I don't care. I got to get it out there. I have a forum for once, and I'm gonna blast it. If the Philadelphia 76ers were losing a game-defining series, a series-defining game by 30 points in the fourth quarter, and they were yelling "F Fred VanVleet," and then Tobias Harris came down through the lane and elbowed somebody viciously in the face and shattered their orbital, do you think that it would just blow over like this? I mean, give me a break. If Philly fans have like the worst reputation, and if it happens to them, to a Philly team, nobody cares about it. And that's a homer take, and it is what it is. I'll own it, but it makes me sick, man. Makes me absolute sick. It's trash, garbage.
Kind of like what the Yankees fans threw at the Guardians players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and again, we have to differentiate, because as Philly fans, we don't want to get the bad rap, and we don't want to give the bad rap to everybody. But those particular fans.
Every fan base has its disgusting fans. I mean, I've seen a fair share of Philadelphia. I remember a time I was in Baltimore. I was called I was probably 14 years old or whatever. It was Philly was down there, and I'm trying to think of the rhyme for the word that I was called. It rhymes with bag. That I was called by a Baltimore fan when I was 14 years old after Philly won. And I'm sitting there like, dude, this guy was like in his 30s, 40s, and he calls me that. I'm like, really? You're going after a teenager here because the Orioles suck? Like, I think you need to reevaluate your life here, buddy.
Well, and I think it's so to your guys' point though about Philly fans and whatnot, like with the whole going to the Yankees, throwing the trash on the field. That whole Angel Hernandez thing, like they were lucky that like all they did was yell at him when he was leaving, because for how ruthless Philly fans can be, there could have been trash thrown out on the field. There could have been people trying to gang up and like stop his car. Yeah. I mean,
but they didn't, and they still have that bad reputation, right? And there has to be a distinction between.
And look at the video too. You brought up, John, where even when he was leaving, the guy videotaping, he didn't throw anything at Hernandez's car. He didn't scream obscenities. He said, either. Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And we also have to...
the nicest way to insult somebody.
And we have to make a distinction between individual fans and, like, collective sections, stadiums, etc., right? So, like, if one fan calls you a name, that's one thing. But if it's an entire section of the Yankees game, or if it's an entire stadium
or the
in
old
Toronto...
level.
Yeah, but if it's an entire arena in Toronto screaming vulgarities at the MVP because they're getting trounced and just embarrassed on their home court,
that's for trash. Another podcast, but he's not winning.
I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up.
Good thing this is not a basketball podcast. Good thing we have one here.
I could go on that for 60 minutes. If we have one, bring me on. I'll talk all about the Sixers.
We do. It's called State of Basketball.
Yeah.
Well, tell him to bring on as a guest.
I've watched it a couple times. He does a very good job with it.
Yeah. So,
well, I'll go on there and I'll rip the Toronto fans a new one.
Don't worry, you're not gonna have to worry about cheering for the Sixers much longer because they're not gonna make it out of the second round now. So,
what a great take. I don't know. It's a tough matchup. The Heat are good. The Sixers are underdogs, deservedly so, especially with them beat out. But now I don't know. Harden can flip the switch. Maxi's a stud. Maxi's out of his mind right now. And Tobias Harris is showing up, man. So not to go off on a tangent.
Can we go back to baseball?
Yeah, you know what this is?
Let's go back to baseball. Yeah, I did leave the goal out there to let's see how far we can take this off the rails, and you both thought it was going to be me, and here we go with John.
Yeah, well,
derailing a baseball podcast.
You know how we can solve all the problems of everything that we have going on?
Fire Angel.
Just Savannah Bananas.
No. That's last.
Oh,
the Wyoming State Penitentiary All-Stars.
Right, there we go.
Okay,
that's a nice lighthearted topic to go to.
Right. All the problems that we have. Yeah, but see, Angel Hernandez would be perfect for this because, like, if he screws up a call, he's probably going to get like
dead,
shot or whatever.
Get dead.
So for those that don't know what the topic of this is, let me see if I can share the screen. I mean, you're not gonna be able to really read it, but I'll show you a little bit of what this is.
Unfortunately, I can't find where Angel Hernandez is umpiring next, but I know that CB Buckner and Jeff Nelson are out for the Yankees-Royals games today. So
yeah. So the death row inmates forced to play baseball for their lives. This story came out in 2014, and we actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago. That this story started taking traction again. So the Wyoming State Penitentiary All-Stars, or Death Row All-Stars, as you can see on this ad here or this book, these guys are murderers, they're robbers, they're rapists. They all convicted, all life sentences, and they're playing baseball for their lives.
The only thing they love more than baseball is killing people.
Yeah. So they some of the rules.
Baseball.
So this all happened back in the Wyoming State Penitentiary opened in 1901. This all happened between 1903 and 1911. The state paid these guys like well to set this up. So basically, if you made a good play or you won games, you had time taken off your life sentence, gave you an opportunity for parole, and if you did anything bad, you died. So, like, for example here, the Wyoming State Penitentiary All-Stars played their first game on July 18th, 1911 with a 12-man roster that included 3 rapists, a forger, 5 thieves, and 3 killers. Playing the Wyoming Supply Company Juniors, one of the best teams in the area, and the All-Stars opponent for all 4 of their games. The All-Stars trounced them 11-1, largely thanks to right fielder Sang, who hit 2 home runs, including a grand slam. That's where the interest came into play because this ended up knocking some time off of his sentence. And instead of sentenced to death, he ended up getting a life imprisonment sentence later that month. So it's kind of different. I mean,
it's real life longest yard, but with baseball,
right?
In a way,
we couldn't get away with this today, guys.
I don't think you could get away with it much back then. But you know, back then didn't have the power of Twitter.
Corruption.
Yeah, I mean, just reading on here a little bit, looks like he was supposed to go to death, and then they wanted some more games. He appealed, lost his appeal. He was only being kept alive solely due to the fact that he was talented.
Hey, man. Listen, you're a horrible scumbag of a human being, but you can pick it at short, brother.
Then they had a couple bad games. He ended up being executed on May 24th of 1912. So you're talking about almost a full year before he ended up actually dying.
Needed him for the big game, man. You know, sometimes you do some things for the bats you need in the lineup.
Can you imagine, though, today if, like, Angel Hernandez, guys like Trevor Bauer, Odubel Herrera, like, this is how they had to, like, oh, you're going to go to jail, or you're bad, or you made a bad call. So we're just going to
throw you into prison.
Yeah. Couldn't do that. It's kind of weird how times have changed. But baseball, it's a baseball thing, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I mean, let's be honest here. We're not wishing ill will upon Angel Hernandez or Trevor Bauer or Dougal Hernandez or the fan who in Baltimore who called me that word. But it would be interesting if you could collectively put a team together of questionable people, including umpires' calls. Like, what would that team look like? Do you think that would be pretty interesting? Like,
it would look like the University of Miami's football team years ago.
Not. What about the Gators?
Yeah, cool. Catholics versus convicts, right? That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was talking more or less the
Aaron Hernandez,
Hernandez team.
Yeah,
with Tim Tebow leading it all, not the killing.
I mean,
Tim Tebow leading the team,
and Urban Meyer, another low character guy, leading the way.
But I mean, Tim, you hit it right on the head though. This is baseball's version of the longest yard. Just not as many dumb.
Not as many deplorables.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, it's an interesting thing though, and you look at almost consider it the wild west of baseball. Apparently, it's the prison league, and honestly, if you're thinking that way, like there's some guys that have played games where there's a loved one in a hospital, like not Angel Hernandez, El Duque pitched a no-hitter. Wait, no, I'm getting it mixed up. Who was it that threw the no-hitter after his dad died? Stock Gooden. Stock Gooden threw a no-hitter like a day or two after his dad died, and you have that on your mind. Imagine playing the game where, oh crap, I just booted a ball. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like that takes a whole new meaning of, well, coach is going to have my ass for this one.
Oh, what is the guy's name from the Red Sox who fudged that play at third base or first base, whatever?
It's Buckner, Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, okay, you misplayed the ground ball that could have ended the game, and guess what? Well, you're getting shot next. Like, that's unreal. That's unbelievable. But I mean, at least you got so in a way though, it is kind of cool.
Do you think this Wyoming team was the original murderers row of baseball?
Possibly, but what I find kind of interesting though is they did reward you for great play. I mean,
they rewarded you by living. What bigger gift is that?
But still though, like that's depending on what kind of criminal you were. I mean, obviously, if you killed somebody back then, you were going to die no matter what. So that didn't really matter. But
yeah,
the fact that I read that one guy, his life was extended purely because he was talented, just goes to show you that so there was a little bit of human decency behind that. Like, okay, yeah, so we're using you for your talent, but we're at least going to keep you alive for a little while longer instead of just killing you right away. So.
Listen, there's a guy on trial right now. We think that's going to overtake you at shortstop. We just need you to stay alive a little bit longer before we replace you.
Yeah. So we'll go into this topic. I can't wait for this one. I've been talking about this one for a while, and I really want to buy one of their jerseys. If you don't
$75.
If you don't know anything about the Savannah Bananas, you're living under a rock right now.
This is the content we all need.
Yes. Off the rail show, as we said at the beginning. So don't be surprised with anything that we're showing you today. The Savannah Bananas are actually
it's been a 2-week absence. I think we needed a little off the rails entertainment.
Yeah. So the Savannah Bananas, they are what we say, a coastal plain league. It's a summer college league. They're actually a really good baseball team. But their premier team is the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. And we're going to show you some entertainment here of the Savannah Bananas if you don't know who they are. So
who sell out every game, who have turned an entire franchise around. They've made baseball fans out of people who have never watched a baseball game in their life down there. What's this one with the two dudes?
I don't know. I got which one? This one?
No. Down one and over to the right. Yeah, that one right there.
Okay, hold on.
Of course, Tim wants to watch this.
So This is how.
What did that guy in Baltimore call you again?
I mean, when you're about to square off WWE weigh-in style, but two-step instead, this is how they determined their starting pitching matchup. This is one Tim. So John, you'll like this one. Tim and I saw this one earlier. Where was it at? Oh no!
Oh, is it the splits?
Yeah.
That one, bottom left. You just over to the left, right there.
Oh
Watch this. Watch this.
Now there's audio too, but you won't be able to hear us if we play the audio.
Oh, that hurts just watching that.
Watch this. And he runs it out the first.
Hard 90. Hard 90.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's what minor league baseball is all about, though. I mean, it's the marketing. I don't want to say. I mean, this is gimmicky for sure. Most minor league baseball is gimmicky, but I mean, it's good, man. It's a good model. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, you gotta pull up the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders one there, Trace.
Oh yeah,
it was the one with up top row, over one.
Oh yeah, this one. Okay, yeah. So these are college kids, and you actually have to try out for this team. And this is the kind of stuff that they do, and they're doing a world tour right now. So like this is what makes baseball fun again.
Those high kicks are not nearly high enough. I think get Tim and Trace out there, show them how to do a real high kick, boys.
Let me see if I can find this one.
Tim's very limber.
I used to be.
I'm telling you, boys, like this is.
Oh, there's the machine.
Oh yeah, here's our
is.
favorite, Bert Kreischer,
the
Bert Kreischer video, taking BP for the Savannah Bananas.
This is peak male.
Mickey Mantle gene, baby.
Yeah,
it's the Mickey Mantle gene. Look at that guy.
You may not like it, but that is peak male performance right there.
It is.
So
it is.
So
he probably did that after drinking 17 Tito's and sodas too.
Here,
17 doubles.
Here's what's great about these.
Was smoking in the back.
So here's what's great about some of these guys, though, is like, so one of the rules they have. Let's see this. What's this one? It's the Dirty Dancing Silly for us. Watch this. This is good. But one of the rules that they have is if you hit a foul ball and into the crowd and the fan catches it, it's an out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pure entertainment. There was the one that got him to go viral. I gotta see if I can find it. I mean, Guy lit his bat on fire.
Oh, I've seen that one. Did you see the video of the person on the stilts?
Oh yeah, that's like up here. Where's it?
Oh wait, stilts on the mound. I didn't know stilts. I haven't seen this one.
That's not the right one. But yeah, so they actually.
There's your bat fire one.
Yeah, well, let's see this one first. Like this is actually pure talent, though. The fact that these guys can do this and then just throw a pitch right after. Look at this.
What do you think takes more practice, the dance or the curveball?
Yes. The bat fire
the ball,
one.
though.
Yeah, it was. Here, this one. This is what made him go viral. So the Party Animals is like it's basically their entire team gets split into two different teams, and this guy literally comes up with his bat on fire. This is what made him go viral. This actually made ESPN. This is how everybody found out about him.
Too bad he didn't. A single.
Yeah. So these guys are pretty entertaining. Let me stop sharing that.
Was there speak, John? You were saying earlier about minor league baseball and marketing and all that. Is there any good minor league baseball tales you have from a marketing standpoint?
The hot dog eating contest.
I was going to reference the hot dog eating contest on 4th of July.
So hold on before we talk about that. Let's clarify here once. Tim was there. He was the cameraman for us for this.
I wasn't the one filming you guys.
No, but he was a cameraman there. This was at the Harrisburg Senators, by the way. So I'll let John take it from there. But Tim was there. He just wasn't there.
I didn't know you guys at the time.
Yeah.
Yet I'm making fun of you as like I do now.
There's a group of probably 10 of us, I'd say, roughly. We're at the Senators game and a little tuned up. And I guess we're walking around
it's
at
the
some
4th
point.
of July, baby.
And we got recruited by somebody to go into a hot dog eating contest, which I thought was a great idea because it was free hot dogs. So there's 5 or 6 of us that were doing it. Our one friend Robbie actually won it, but we were slugging hot dogs, waving American flags, doing Tim Tebow poses.
Didn't you only eat like 2?
I ate 3 at a slow, leisurely pace because
you had the free meal.
Yeah, I got the free meal. It was great. And Robbie ate a ton, and he actually won a dugout suite. So we went back a couple weeks later and had the dugout suite because he won that.
We actually took like 4 of the top 5 spots.
Yeah, I mean, you get guys that are a little tuned up, and you just shove free food in front of them, and they'll slug it down, man. And it was a long inning too. It was like a half an inning, and it was like a 6-run inning, and like never ended. So it just kept going and going and going.
I know how we got recruited. I remember how we got recruited. Because Sawyer was with us, and he thought that the girl at the one stand was cute, and she was like, "Oh, you guys should sign up for this hot dog eating contest, blah 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 blah." And he's like, "Yeah, guys, let's go sign up for the hot dog eating contest." So we all signed up because Sawyer convinced us.
That sounds so out of character. So out of character.
And he had like 2.
Yeah, he's just like me.
You just go for the free food. I remember one. I was up. It was my brother, my dad, and I. We were up in Cooperstown, and we decided, there was a New York single A short season Penn League up there. It's like where the guys go who just get drafted. And we go to this stadium, and it is one of the ricketiest stadiums I had ever seen. Like, it was literally held together with like plywood. It seemed like. You know the league from Major League where Bob Uecker holds the microphone out. It's like, listen to these fans roar, and there's absolutely nobody. Yeah. No, they don't make the noise. He's like, listen to those fans, and it's quiet, and he like takes the microphone and he does like one of these things. Yes, they love their fans here in Cleveland. There was the standard, da-da-da-da-da-da charge thing, and they rang it off. You hear da-da-da-da-da-da, and then the buzz of the generators powering the lights in the outfield. And then my dad and I just howling in laughter because we were like 1 of 15. We were 2 of 15 people in the ballpark that night. They had special promotions for the
right there.
They had special promotions. Some first baseman like roped a double, and they're like, player number 20 for the opposing team has won a free 6-inch sub from Subway or Quiznos on Main Street. And I was like, okay, that's kind of crappy. And then he makes a backhanded play, tripping over his shoelaces, and makes the out at first. And the announcer goes, "Oh my God, first baseman number 20 has won himself a free bagel from Jerry's Bagel World on Main Street." And my dad and I look at each other and go, "Hey, he just needs a home run, and he gets a foot-long sub. So he's got breakfast, lunch, and dinner covered right there."
So that
Quiznos now.
Well, since we're on the topic of Savannah Bananas and promotions and stuff like that, I found this from Bleacher Report. This is good entertainment. So we're gonna end with this because this came out in 2011, but this is still pretty good. Here's some promotions that have happened over the years before this. First one is Nobody Night, the Charleston River Dogs.
Nice.
Class A affiliate of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays wanted to set a record no one could break, so they decided on Nobody Night, a night where they would padlock their gates and not let a single fan in until the game was official.
Baltimore did the same thing.
Well, yeah, but theirs was because of the riots. The Altoona Curve had a night called Awful Night. The promotion's aim was to give the customer a bad experience. The first 1,000 fans got a picture of the general manager's gallbladder.
Ugh. That's pretty bad. What else is on this list?
The Toilet Seat Night, the Hudson Valley Renegades decided on a promotion that gave away a toilet seat to their first 3,000 fans.
Hey, sometimes you need.
It's actually useful, though.
Yeah, that's useful.
Terrell Owens Unappreciation Night.
Oh, which team was this?
A semi-professional baseball team called the Atlantic City Surf got an idea. This is in 2006. They just had an 81-cent hot dogs in honor of Owens' number and whoopee cushions with his face on them.
That's probably after he burned the Eagles.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that after the crunch?
2006.
Yeah, that about checks out.
10-cent beer night.
Oh, where? Sign me up.
Political correctness night.
Pass.
Don't sign me up.
Zebra pants and a monkey. I'm not sure what that one is. Whiplash.
Cowboy monkeys.
The cowboy monkeys.
Yeah.
I remember the cowboy monkeys. I was filming that too.
Oh, here you guys go. Mike Tyson Ear Night, the minor league baseball team, the Fort Myers Miracle, make multiple appearances on this list. They must have some good public relations.
I found one here. This was from 2016. The Fresno Grizzlies had a taco truck throwdown night.
I just saw that too.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, some of these are great, dude. Here you go. Here you go. G-string night. The Charleston River Dogs.
That's a pass.
They gave away G-strings to select fans.
I don't know how many people would want to see us wearing G-strings, boys.
They also did, on top of this, they did a vasectomy night.
Oh God! Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Do you know the physical toll it takes on a man to get 3 vasectomies?
Funeral night. The Hagerstown Suns gave away a funeral valued at over $6,500.
But again, that's really useful.
It really is. It's expensive to die anymore.
I mean, dude.
But with advances in modern medicine, I can't see why we don't live, another 200-300 years. Come on, John. Come on, John.
What's that from?
That was one of the Will Ferrell movies. I thought. I can't.
Well, you guys missed my Office reference. Trace probably got the Office reference.
I did. I
didn't quote it very well, but snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
I mean, here's some from Massachusetts minor league baseball promotions in the year 2018. Just Axe Women Loggers of Maine. A goat bobblehead, but they couldn't actually put Tom Brady on it, so they put a goat with his jersey number on it.
I mean, I kind of want to get one of these. I'm just looking around here for crazy minor league baseball stuff, and I forgot Lehigh Valley was Bacon USA.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point on that.
And then you also have the AA team of the Rays being the Montgomery Biscuits.
Oh, here in 2009.
There you go, John.
Shout out to Kim.
Throw that up there, Trace.
Here's one for you. In 2009, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, Class A affiliate.
And that's why you're marrying her.
The Class A affiliate of the Cleveland Indians held a all-you-can-eat night. But 5 finalists and one eventually got down to 5 finalists, and one lucky winner got a free liposuction treatment as well.
Interesting. I do want to make a shameless. I want to make a shameless plug right now for Tim, since we know Kim is watching. I would like to politely encourage her to allow Tim to Kelly Green the wedding.
Good luck.
Can we have vasectomy night at your wedding?
Hey.
On that note.
Yeah, on that note. That was a different different show today, there, boys.
A little off the rails, just like we planned.
I mean, we were,
or actually just like we didn't plan, because it's off the rails because we didn't plan, but we just went with it.
It was fun though. I mean, we gotta have fun shows like this on occasion. Can't always be
absolutely.
I mean, it was somewhat serious, the whole Trevor Bauer thing. So,
well, I do want to.
Until we dove into Amber Heard.
Yeah, well, off the rails.
My parting words are that Nick Nurse, Pascal Siakam, the Toronto Raptor fans,
here we go,
and the announcer are complete and utter punks, and they suck.
Well, to each their own, I guess.
So,
I have a final word here. Angel Hernandez, you're a horrible umpire, and I don't like you.
All right.
Second that.
My final words are make sure you check myself and Tommy Boy out on Checkers and Wreckers on Tuesday night. We got a pretty good show coming up. Check out all of our proud sponsors here at the bottom for BW Sports 1 and some of our other shows that we have. State of Basketball. John, you'll like that one because that's, up your alley.
Bring me on, boys. I'll talk Sixers all night.
Super Kicking It with Steven. Combat Zone sometimes we'll get on. The Dukes of Football. We talked about doing a Dukes of Football during the draft. So from everybody at BW Sports 1, all of our partners, and of all of our other shows, thank you for tuning in. We will hopefully see everybody. Yeah, hopefully we'll be on for next week too.
Sounds good.
Screw you, Angel Hernandez.